What is up, YouTube? Back in the shop and back in the Euro finally. Okay guys, so this is what we got into here. When we had it out at Space and they did all the work for me, when we flipped it upside down to bond underneath, Chris had found that the pad was very, very beat up. Like at some time the pad had been blown out of it and somebody had done a repair in here and it was a very lackluster repair. So Chris was awesome and he fixed that for me. That was great. And he made it very, very good. I mean, this is no complaint. Like he made it as good as factory or even better. But then as I got the boat home and just being me, I thought to myself, you know, I just want to check it all over real close. And this is a ski bottom STV. And where I'm fortunate is that James's River Rocket, his NTV Rocket is here, and NTV is a ski bottom too. So the nice thing is I thought I would go out and take a look at his boat and take a bunch of measurements off of it. And I found some really faults in this boat after looking at his. So I thought I would address those. So first of all, a ski bottom boat, if you see here, I don't know what you would call this, whether you call this a strake or what. It is angled, which gives the boat more natural lift. I think the Mod VP bottoms were perfectly straight. So what I found with this boat is, and that gives the illusion that that's not straight, it's just because it's a sand mark. All these edges are straight. Anyways, what I found is the angle of this, like if I put an angle meter on this, I'm gonna call it a strake, compared to this strake, it was like 4 degrees difference. And I don't know if that was a factory Summerford thing, if that was from the pad repair, I don't really know. Anyways, I evened those up. I didn't do anything with the pad, bubble in the pad, and I'm gonna show you the bubble here in a second. But what we also found too is there was a very, very nasty hook in here on both sides. Quite drastic. And I took a bunch of measurements off James's boat from about here back, so I could tell James's boat is very, very straight. Not only that, then right in around this area, there was quite a bubble. Like if you put a 4-foot straight edge across here, it was just wicked bad. So I sanded out the bubble. We filled multiple steps. I've been 3 days on this to get this to where it is right now. And then here, let me grab a straight edge and I'll just show you what I'm talking about with the. So the STV has a little bit, it's gonna be hard to see, but at the edge, there's a rock there, maybe about 1/8 of an inch. If you go in a couple inches, it's flat. If you go in a couple inches again, it should be convex, which you can see the shadow. That's the bubble. Now, again, some guys take that out. I'm not taking it out. I'm not saying that that's not a good thing to do. Listen, here's the thing. It seems every time that I want to do something or experiment with something, I get my teeth kicked in about how wrong it is, or that was dumb, and I can't believe you would do that. Man, this is my boat. I would never experiment. I don't do bottom work or anything on anybody else's boat. I don't do anything that I accept money for that I don't consider myself a professional. Wiring, rigging, 100%, but I don't do this. But this is my fucking boat, and I want to learn. I'm a teach myself learner, and I think there's a word for that, autodidact, I believe. That's what I do. And if I want to play around with shit, I'm going to. And if you think it's wrong, that's fine. Maybe it is. But you know what? I'm fucking also not afraid to try it, bring it back in, haul the motor off, flip the boat back over, make changes, put the motor back on, and go back out that afternoon and try it again, because I'm not lazy and I do shit. So anyways, this was my thing. I took the hook out, I took the bulb out, I left the bubble, and I'm pretty certain that this boat is gonna drive a whole lot straighter than it did before. It was really, really good up to like 109, 110, and it started to get really loose feeling. And with the gear case that I have, it won't go a whole lot faster than that anyways with that gear case on it. But I'm certain that couldn't have helped. So anyways, sand it out. I'm going to leave it in a primer finish because I don't know that I'm done with it yet. I might play around. I might play around with the lifting streaks. I might try it like this. I might fill them and make it a Mod VP bottom. I don't know yet. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. So we've got it to this point. Sand it. I'm going to put another layer of primer on it, sand it out again, and flip this thing back over and start putting it together. All right, guys, so I think where we left off last was we had the Euro home from space, where we had the fiberglass repair completed, had the boat buffed and compounded, and I think I was just sort of going over some stuff, some plans that we were going to do. And we had talked about my friend Brian Goodwin was going to machine up some trick parts and just kind of do some really cool things with this. And the plans have changed slightly with that. I mean, still carrying on with the boat, completing it. But like I'd said right from the word go, this is far from my forever boat. I bought this boat solely for the motor. I did not want a Euro with a 300R. I wanted a 300R. Everybody knows that I've always talked about wanting a tough 24, tough 25, and that was sort of the plan. I thought, buy this boat, we get the motor, and then I run it for a season or two, sell the boat. So in that, keeping with that plan, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to start making one-off trick billet pieces. I mean, as awesome as that is, it's just, you know, that stuff gets expensive, and rightfully so. It's time consuming and the material's expensive. So I thought, you know, right from the word go, we said this is what we're going to do. We're going to make it like a resto mod, like a hot rod car or muscle car, where we take like an older boat, we refinish the original gel, we make it structurally sound, as if like we were taking a muscle car and we were putting a high-tech suspension underneath it. And then we're going to put the 300R, so sort of a modern power plant. But I really decided that I just need to really stick with the parts that I have. I'm going to show you some things on here. There's things on here that I don't like from a trick standpoint, or a guy that rigs boats for a living. But again, sometimes you just got to work with what you've got. I don't want to spend a ton of money here. I'd rather invest that money or save that money and put it towards the boat that I really want. So that being said, I'm going to just turn the camera around. I'm going to sort of show you where we're at, what we've done. We spent a bit of time on the bottom of the boat. We got the rub rail back on. We got the carpet in. But anyways, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'll show you that stuff right. Okay, guys. So starting at the back, we just put these. I like these chrome or polished stainless thread in drain plugs compared to the tubes with the hose. I just think they look kind of clean. So we installed those. We installed the new C-Star 10-inch setback bracket, and here's where things are going to get a little bit funny. Everybody has an opinion about setback, especially on STVs, and everybody has differing opinions, and everybody has had lots of people have good results both ways. I've spoke to some guys in the US that I hold in high regard, Brad McRae, Chummy, and some guys that are playing with big motors on these STVs. And they're saying 10 to 12 inch setback, the boat just works better. I trust them. I had I think a 7.5 inch bracket on it before, so we're going to try the 10 inch. If I don't like it, I'll take it back off. These were the components. If you remember, I was going to replace this with all billet and stuff. But you know what? Again, I decided I have these. I have this, so we're going to use it. My trim lines are going to come out here real nice. And then this was where the old ski pole used to go. I just made this little carbon thing to cover over top of it. This little boot, I hate this, but again, we have it, so we're going to use it. Same with the fuel tank vent. It's over there. I'm just waiting for a gasket for it. So we got the rub rail painted black, a nice epoxy black. I'm still missing a couple of screws. I just ran short, but I think that looks super, super trick. It's pretty durable. Satin black. It's not scratch proof, but it's fairly durable. And I don't leave stuff parked at the dock. I always try and tie it on an angle and that sort of thing. We got new STV logos, carbon with a matte, a gloss with a carbon. And Tom Watson did those at Commercial Press. He has the file. So I just think that looked, I like that. I like the black with the black. I think it looks pretty cool. And again, we were going to put some billet cleats and everything in. Decided not to do that. So just to fill the holes, I just put these little button head Allen stainless for now until I decide what we're going to do. Don't really need cleats again. You know, we've got rear cleats and we've got a front bow eye. So yeah, anyways, moving inside, so we got the complete inside painted with the Epifans. I think we had talked about that before. And then I just kind of did the splatter myself. I'm no expert, but I just took a paintbrush and some white paint and I was just kind of whipping it all around. I'm just gonna take my shoes off and I'll climb in and show you some things. Original fuel tank. And if you know, with the factory STVs, when they had the lower bulkhead, they have this kind of clamp that just hooks in. Well, this doesn't work because I've made this bigger. I'm still gonna maybe try and come up with something to make that work. But for now, I put gas tank straps in and I think they're great. I put one in fore and one aft so that the tank can't go forward or aft, which it really can't anyways. So I'm pretty happy with that. And if I can't derive something here, I'm not worried about it. But if I can, that's great. As we spoke about before, trim pump is going to go right here and the battery is going to go right here in an attempt to work on the weight bias. Moving forward, I carpeted the boat myself. I didn't do a stellar job, I don't think. There's a few areas like, well, it's even not too awful bad there. Maybe, you know, I cut it a little long here. And then what I did, because we had painted in here, usually the carpet would come way up the sides, but I was like, you know what, there's this natural line right here. So, and then by doing that, an 8-foot wide piece of carpet, 8-foot wide piece of carpet isn't long enough to go way up the sides, 8-foot wide roll, but by trimming it there, it did, and I don't think it looks bad at all, actually. And then let me just sort of scooch around. Got the seats mounted. Well, this one's not in right now, but we've already kind of went through that. So we've got the Chip Ellis carbon console. Again, factory shifter. I'd love to put a nice billet or you know, an in control, but you know what? We have this, we're gonna make it work. I did put a Powers foot throttle in it. I did not like the one that was in there. And I'm not 100% sure that I'm sticking with this cable routing just yet. The console makes things a little bit goofy, but I might derive something that's a little bit better. I'm not too sure. If you see the plate on here, let me explain that. These STVs, when they didn't have the console, the old Summerford boats had a wooden sort of platform off to the side down in this tunnel, and the foot throttle sat there. Well, when we redid the boat, I had glassed in a box here. We had glassed in a box for the foot throttle, and then once I had everything together, I've always liked my foot throttle off to the side and on a bit of an angle. And so anyways, I wanted to make it work just for aesthetics, and it just did not. So what I did is I took, this is like a 1/4-inch plate of aluminum, and I actually bent it down, like I put it in a break and put a bend in it just to get the angle just right. And then I powder coated it black and it screwed down. So that's why the foot throttle shifted off that way a little bit. I did not carpet the bulkhead. I just left it, but we carpeted up to it nice. So, and then, you know, this is very simple here, carbon plate on the dash. I'm gonna take it back off. This carbon I had, again, in this, going with the theory, sorry, the boat's super dusty. It sat outside with the cover on it here for the last few weeks because I've been so busy. I had the sheet of carbon. It's not clear coated, but I'm gonna take it back out and clear it, you know, and then the Simrad dash is fitting in super nice there. So really happy. Chris Spaeth was up here the other day and he brought me this edge molding. We popped it on, so nice fresh edge molding. So if you will, you'll remember that the Summerford STVs had these fiberglass kind of fill panels that went down like that, or down, I can't remember how they went. They always broke away at the bottom and rattled away and stuff. Well, I'm not even going to put them back in. I think when I put the back seat back in, it closes down. The back seat comes to right to about here. So I'm not super worried about that, but yeah, just nice and clean, you know. Nothing super trick, nothing super expensive, utilizing what we have, but just built somebody a really good boat, man. I can pass this boat off to somebody to maybe put a 2.5 on it, or a modern Yamaha, or whatever, who knows. With confidence that they have a good sound piece that's clean, shows well, you know, the wiring. I'm gonna try and get underneath the dash and see if we can, you know, aesthetically, it's tidy and simple. There's not much to it. I think I can sell this boat in confidence. All right, guys, so that concludes video 3. Next step is probably next weekend. I'll be honest, if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have told you that, or a couple of weeks ago, that I probably wouldn't even be out with this boat this summer. I've just been so busy, so much work, and customers' work has to come first. That's what pays the bills. But, you know, I've just been finding time in the evenings and weekends. You know, I come out at 10 o'clock at night. I came out one time at 3 in the morning. You just got to utilize the time when you have the time, you know. You can sit on the couch and watch fucking Housewives of New York, or you can go out in the shop and build cool shit. So anyways, we're getting there. I'm actually super stoked. Next step is to hang the motor. And I got some, you know, sort of the trim pump. I want to do custom lines on the trim pump. I just hate big long lines hanging, dangling away down in the build. So we're going to work on that, and next video we should have it up and running and probably pretty close to ready for the water. So as always, please comment below, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and yeah, let me know what you think of the boat. Let me know what you think of the modifications and stuff that we've done. Let me know if you think that it was good, bad, or otherwise. If this is something that you would like to have or you would buy, then comment below. Otherwise, I appreciate you. Thank you. Good day.